All right, let's talk about psychoactive drugs. It's a topic that's, surrounded by a ton of noise and confusion. But we're going to cut right through that. By the end of this, you're going to have a super clear framework to make sense of it all.
I mean, you hear these words thrown around all the time, right? Stimulants, depressants, hallucinogens. It's just this jumble of information, and none of it feels connected. It's overwhelming. So, seriously, where do you even start?
Okay, so here's the plan. We're not just going to throw a bunch of facts at you. That doesn't work. Instead, we're going to build a mental blueprint together. Think of it like a map that's going to help us navigate this whole complex world and organize everything.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll lay out the blueprint. Then we'll dive into the 4 rules for building it, get the facts right, see the whole picture, make it super clear, and design it so it actually sticks in your brain. And then we'll talk about why this whole blueprint idea is so powerful.
All right, Section 1, the blueprint for drugs. Before we get into any of the specifics, we need a solid structure. Just think of it as a clean, empty grid that's just waiting for us to fill it in.
And here it is. This is our blueprint. It's a simple table, but it's incredibly powerful. For any drug we look at, we're going to break it down into 5 key things. What's the drug class? What are some examples? What are the effects? Any potential uses? And of course, what are the key risks? This structure is what's going to force us to think about this stuff clearly and see the whole picture.
Okay, so now we get to criterion 1, and this is the big one. Just the facts. Because think about it, a perfectly organized map is totally useless if it leads you off a cliff, right? Everything, and I mean everything, we put into our blueprint has to be accurate.
The gold standard here is simple, but it's absolute. All the facts have to be correct and explained clearly. With a topic like this, which is just full of myths and misinformation, this part is completely non-negotiable.
And here's a perfect example of why this matters so much. You might hear something like, oh, all stimulants are basically the same. But the reality? That's not true at all. The risk profile for your morning cup of coffee versus, say, methamphetamine, they're worlds apart. Getting those details right is the absolute first step to really understanding any of this. Okay, so we've got our foundation of facts. That's step 1. But an accurate map that's missing half the country isn't very useful, is it? So our second criterion is about getting the full picture. And to get that full picture, we have to cover all the main drug classes. We're talking about stimulants, depressants, hallucinogens, and so on. If you leave a major category out, you're going to end up with a really skewed and incomplete view of the whole landscape. But it's not enough to just name the category. To really get it, we have to look at specific examples. So the rule is, for every single class, we need at least 2 examples. Why? Because that's how you start to see the nuances and the real-world differences that make each one unique. So let's put this into practice. Let's look at stimulants. We'll take 2 examples you've probably heard of, caffeine and Adderall. Okay, both of them make you more alert, right? But check this out. They do it in totally different ways. Caffeine basically just blocks the sleepy signals in your brain. Adderall, on the other hand, actually boosts chemicals like dopamine. That's why it's used for ADHD, but it's also why it comes with much higher risks for things like addiction. See? The blueprint immediately starts showing you not just the similarities, but the crucial differences.
Let's do another one. Depressants. We'll use alcohol and benzodiazepines, like Xanax. Again, both slow down your brain function, but their uses and risks are different. Alcohol is a social thing, while benzos are prescribed for serious anxiety. Here's the critical part, though, the risks. When you combine them, the danger multiplies. It dramatically increases the risk of overdose. So you can see our blueprint isn't just a list of facts. It's starting to fill up with these really critical, even life-saving details.
All right, so we've got accurate information and we've got the complete picture. But what if it's just a giant, messy pile of text? It's useless, right? That brings us to our third criterion, creating clarity. It's all about making the blueprint easy to read and understand at a glance.
So what do we even mean by clarity here? It just means the whole thing is coherent. It makes sense. The layout is clean, it's neat, and it's super easy to follow. The goal is for you to be able to look at it and just get it effortlessly. And honestly, the blueprint's design kind of does the heavy lifting for us. Those clear headings, the columns, they automatically group all the related info together. The formatting is consistent, so it's really easy to compare one drug to another. That structure is what creates the clarity. Okay, we're on to our fourth and final criterion. And this is the one that really elevates the blueprint from just a chart to a powerful learning tool. It's about making it all stick. And let's be clear, this isn't just about making it look pretty. The goal is a design that's creative and visually appealing, because that actually enhances your understanding.
Good design isn't just decoration, it's a powerful tool for communication.
So when you put it all together, you see these four things: accuracy, completeness, clarity, and design. They're not just separate items on a checklist. They all work together. Each one is a piece of the puzzle. And when you combine them, you create something really effective, a truly powerful tool for understanding.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. We've been talking about why this blueprint matters. And yeah, we've used it to organize information about psychoactive drugs. But what we've really been doing is building something way bigger than just one chart. We've been building a life skill.
Because this blueprint, it's not just about drugs. It's a method you can use for any complex topic. It's a system for taking that feeling of chaos, that flood of information you get when you're learning something new, and turning it into something clear, complete, and something you'll actually remember.
So there you have it. You now have the blueprint for understanding, a way to turn chaos into clarity. The real question is, how are you going to use it?